I made 3 worlds, gathered 2 YouTuber friends, and made a plan to survive 100 days in all 3 of them. However, there is a twist, my friends. You see, not only are the worlds different, we start alone, and every 10 days we will swap the worlds around, meaning the 3 of us are going to survive 100 days in 3 different worlds at the same time. Can we do it? Well, you just have to watch and find out. But people, before we begin, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Thank you guys so much for 100,000 subscribers. 100,000! That is a dream come true. I guess now that we've done that, I've got to start asking for more. So let's go insane and ask for 250,000 subscribers by the end of 2022. Huge goal, but, you know, go big or go home, am I right? Oh, also, 3K likes. We'll do this again in different worlds. Okay, bye. Starting on day 1 in World 1, aka the normal world. It's your standard set for the first day. You get your wood, you get your stone, you get your snacks. I even made a campfire to get some food, and I did find a broken nether portal with no chest. Listen, I spent forever looking, there was just no chest there. I will also quickly mention that the first 10 days of this 100-day survival was streamed on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Haven. Go follow. Well, no, don't, I'm not your dad. I dug down on day 2, I got a nice little bit of iron, had to deal with a skeleton, and whilst I was down there, I took another nap. Day 3 was where I found my first diamonds, and then got tricked by another diamond, as a glow ink sac was on the floor. Like, tell me that doesn't look like a diamond around there for the record. And after that, I found another diamond, which, okay, don't pretend that you haven't mined diamonds with stone pickaxe before. We've all done it, we've all made that mistake. We can all make that one mistake, one time, and then we've got nothing to worry about. And look at that, another diamond right there, so honestly not a problem. I did it again, didn't I? Okay, listen, I have ADHD, and I'm trying to talk to my Twitch chat. I'm allowed to make these mistakes, okay? After sleeping again on day 4, I found more diamonds, and this time, shockingly, I mined them with an iron pickaxe. I know, crazy. And even more, like, I was finding quite a few diamonds down here. Pro gamer moves, I guess. Using the diamonds that I had, I made a diamond pickaxe, and diamond chestplate, and shortly afterwards, I made a diamond sword. I was running out of food on day 5, and so I decided it was now time to leave. Luckily, the pigs came in clutch to save the day for me, and we finished the day by finding this pillager outpost in a wall. Alright then, cool, not gonna question that one. I found a nice hill, and on top of that hill I decided this would be the perfect spot to build a home. It was also this day that I found some wolves. So, you know, pretty good day. I spent the entire day on 7 building as well. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will this masterpiece. But apparently it takes 2 days because we finished the build, and just look at it. Masterpiece. 10 out of 10. Just perfect. Such a good build. I dug down on day 9 because I wanted a bit more stone just to finish off a couple of things about the house when, well, the dog died. So what happened was I dug straight down, and a dog fell. And the only reason I knew was because of the sound effect. Here, give it a listen. But, did my dog just stand up and freaking commit? Now, the joke was that my dog didn't want to be alive because my build was so terrible, but it turns out that this was just a random wolf. Got away with it. Still have our nice little wolf at the nice base. I got back up by day 10, finished off what I needed to do, and it was now time for the first world swap. World 1, as I mentioned, was just your standard 1.18 world. World 2 was 1.18 but amplified. So, you know, it's the cave and cliffs update, but now it's the super caves and super cliffs update? Nah, I don't really know. The first thing I did was check out the house. In 10 days, Austin built this really nice fishing shack. I got to admit, I'm quite impressed on how well Austin built and how often he surprises me here. Also, just looking at the gear, just basic iron. He was more focused on the building rather than the caving, and so I knew that that was my job. Heading underground on day 12, I found a nice luscious cave and apparently every mob under the sun. Lucky to survive that one with only a couple of scrapes. And spending the extra day down there on day 13, I got 5 diamonds, just enough for an enchant table, which admittedly was all I really wanted. Day 14, I grabbed some obsidian, 14 in total, which for those who don't know the maths is 4 for an enchant table and 10 for a nether portal. And after grabbing that, I headed back up. Day 15, I got enchants and made the decision to use all these levels for something really important, naming everything I possibly could. YouTube.com/Havenhand. I just wanted some free advertising in their videos. Oh yeah, I should mention that the other 2 people who I'm swapping the worlds with, Austin and Marvin, are both making their own videos. I'll put their videos in the description in case you want to watch theirs after mine. But, you know, maybe watch all of mine first because it helps the YouTube watch time up. Thank you. What did I just say? Oh my god. The next task I had was, well, I wanted to go and get some farms set up. Austin basically spent his entire time building and did nothing for the actual survival of this world, and so I knew it was going to be my job to actually set stuff up. I was looking around on day 17 to find animals, but unfortunately there was just a no-go. Got me some melon seeds. And then I spent the rest of the day and all of day 18 just getting some cows back home, because unfortunately no animals spawned near the base. And now that the cows are done, let's go see if we can get something else. I did a double decker on day 19, getting both sheep and chickens back into the farm as well. So I'm going to set them up as you do, and I'm just going to let other people, you know, make it better, fix them up, breed a bunch of animals. I'll start it, they can finish it. Classic case. And I didn't really have much to do left on day 20, so I decided to just dig some stuff in the sand. Haven was here. I mean, you can't really tell it's there, but I know it's there. We know it's there, and that's the most important thing. And after digging out on day 20, it's time for another world swap. Day 21, we are on World 3. We are on the Superflat world, which, okay, I want to make it clear. I voted for something else, but those two wanted a Superflat world. This was not my choice. I took my time to explore the village, see the home that Kerr built. Also, what in the world is that? So my man made a slime house. What in the world is that? There was a bunch of signs that says we needed to get some iron, diamonds, obsidian, and that kind of thing. However, that job was already done. Austin must have covered that for me, and so I just couldn't benefit from his work. On day 22, I made an enchant table, a diamond pickaxe, and diamond boots, and enchanted it all up. The only pain about doing Superflat worlds is the only way to get lapis is trading with clerics. Other than that, it really wasn't that hard to get this all set up. However, just like Austin's world, World 2, this also didn't have an animal farm set up, so I decided I may as well start it off for them to fix later. I ran into the world, going to get some cows, chickens, but basically whatever I could, and honestly it was a lot of running around, so I'll just save everybody some time by going to day 26, where the animal farms were all finished. Now, it'd probably be this point where I'd go caving, but of course it's super flat. I can only go like 4 blocks down. And so I decided to work on the farms that we had, basically just expanding them as much as possible, just to make the world very easy on the food sense. Basically what I was hoping they would do, but honestly there was not really a lot I could do here. And so I just farmed for the rest of the time here. Super flat. I don't know how people play it. Anyway, time to move on to the next world. We were back on the original world on day 31, and okay, original confusion here. We were nowhere near where we started. In fact, I don't actually remember where the original base was, but that original base just doesn't exist anymore, apparently. What I think happened was Marvin saw the base, was like, nah, screw that, and just left and made his own base, and so now we just have a different base altogether. I also just bred some cows this day. It wasn't really an eventful day. Having a look around on day 32, I realized that we didn't really have any blaze rods or anything, and everyone had done a little bit of this work. I decided that maybe going to the Nether was my job, and so I headed into the Nether on day 32. It only took me a single day to find a fortress. I was very quickly able to get some nether wart and some blaze rods. I mean, come on, it's not that hard to do at this point. By the time I completed, I believe it was day 34, I had 20 blaze rods and headed back home. I got back home on the cusp of day 35 just to deal with more farming and such. I mean, I was a little low on food, so I'm glad I got back when I did. And then on day 36, I set up a level 30 enchanter, getting looting free on my sword and silk touch on the pickaxe. I knew it was a pretty good start to my level 30 enchant, and I decided to do something a little bit smart. You see, what I decided to do was basically grab all the nether quartz in the nether with the silk touch and then take it back to the overworld and just mine them with a different pickaxe. It just saves me from being in the dangers of the nether. I had 5 stacks by the end of day 37, and whilst I was trying to escape, I ended up on half a heart. Just for the record, if I died there, all 3 of us would have had to have started again. So, I'm very grateful that I didn't die there. That would have been a lot of egg on my face, as they say. I made a giant quartz tower on day 38 and started mining away. 41 levels in total, which, well, let's just say that we don't have to worry about levels anytime soon. And then I came up with a pretty clever idea. You see, what I wanted to do was actually start a book and quill. The idea was that if I could leave some notes for the other guys in this world, they could potentially update what was done. And so I found a squid on day 39, killed it, and began a book and quill. I didn't really do much on day 40. I just put some notes down, explain that we have a level 30 enchanter, explain the enchants that I got, the really basic stuff really. Back into Austin's world on day 41, the first thing I did was I started trading with some villagers. You see, the villagers were now set up in the right place, but no one had started trading with them, so I did a little bit of trading on day 41. And then, okay, I went a little bit AFK on day 42, but day 43 was when I decided, you know what? I'm gonna head to the Nether. I don't know why it always ended up being my job to go get some blaze rods. That or just sell farms and stuff. I don't know how it gets my goal. To be fair, saved me from building anything. And so on day 43, I headed into the Nether looking for some blaze rods and some ender pearls. Let's just do a quick highlight reel. I quickly found a fortress, got enough blaze rods to move on with my life, then found a warped forest and killed a bunch of endermen. Now, unfortunately, Austin doesn't have looting, or a level 30 setup for that matter. And so I was having to do this with next to nothing gear-wise. It wasn't that hard, though I may have had a couple of close calls there. I didn't have to worry about it too much. I was able to escape nice and easy. And honestly, I don't really have much else to say. This kind of was my 10-day adventure in Austin's world. By the time I got back, it was already day 50. It was time for me to move on into the next world. Unfortunately, I just can't say more. Let's move on. Day 51, we were back in the Superflat world. I had woken to find the villager farm that Kerb created. There was a couple more signs left for me, because apparently we now need even more gold, diamonds, iron. You know, the stuff that you'd normally get from the caves, but again, we're in Superflat, so we can't. And so I ran into the world, and well, just that was it for the next couple of days. I'll give you a little bit of an update on day 53, where I found, I believe this was the 3rd or 4th village with a blacksmith. Had some good stuff in there. Nice little bit of obsidian, some diamonds, some iron. Just the basics that you would need to survive 100 days in this world. And it was on day 54 where I returned to the village. And then I noticed it. The Nether portal. Now listen. I know I did it twice to go into the other world. But this time, I'm not going for blaze rods. I'm going for pig step. And, well, let's go find some bastions. It only took me a couple of days to find the bastion, but I remember that sweet feeling of getting close, opening that chest, and finding me some pig step. Woo! I'm gonna kill my throat from doing that one day. I can't believe that I still do that. And then I headed back home, and honestly, that was kind of it. I basically just waited around for 2 or 3 days because Superflat? Why did we do Superflat? Why was I the only person who was like, Superflat's a terrible idea? I returned back to my world on day 61. I read through the notes. We can work on wither next blocks. Chris has bussy. Understood what needed to be done. I made a cool sword, and then I decided yet again to bite the bullet to go back to the Nether. This time we're not going for blaze rods. This time we're not going for pig step. This time, we're gonna go get some wither skulls. Now, the beauty of having looting free is the ability to get skulls a lot quicker than usual. So, though I got to the fortress on day 62, by day 63, I had already obtained 2 wither skulls, which is just like so much quicker than I'm used to. And would you look at that, it was the 64th day where I got my final wither skull. Once I returned home, I went to the automatic smelter. Now, it's worth mentioning that Marvin, who just preceded me, decided to go caving to get a bunch of iron for an inevitable beacon. That was basically the reason that I decided to go get the wither skulls, because a beacon would be one of the priorities in this world. And so I waited a little bit for the rest of the iron to cook, and then I just made them into blocks. Honestly, that was about it. And then we went back to the Nether on day 66 to go to the warped forest. We got 8 ender pearls, and by day 67 we had 5 more. At this point in time, I was thinking, I'm not going back to the Nether. Screw that noise. I just don't want to go back to the Nether. And so on day 68, when I finally got back home, I decided, you know what? I want to build something. I want to do something different. A lot of this has been kind of the same, going to the Nether, getting the stuff, except in 3 different worlds. And so I decided, first things first on day 68, that I was going to go ahead and grab a horse. After that, on day 69, nice, I made a really basic stable. Honestly, wasn't really a lot to it, but just to keep the horse in there, yeah. I hope that one of the guys used the horse in this world. And then on day 70, I just made some notes, just filled in exactly what I'd done for the past 10 days. Pretty simple stuff, really. And since I was on a building spree, I decided, let me build something else. Here we are on day 71 in World 2, aka the Amplified World, where I decided, you know what? I'm going to make my own build in this world. I'm going to make my own little house. It could be the Haven house. It's not going to be as good as an Austin's build or even Marvin's build, but I just want to build something myself. And so I took a look basically at what was built there, what was used, and I tried to replicate my own version of it. And when it was done by day 73, honestly, I didn't think it looked terrible. Don't get me wrong, I definitely just yoinked the design of Austin's buildings, but honestly, I don't think it's that bad. I think this is quite a good build. I also decided to steal the idea of using the stone stairs and making the path to the buildings that were over by this side. Honestly, I think it kind of looks good on the sand. And with that all completed, on day 74, I set up a level 30 enchanter and I tried to get Ludigon's sword. It took so many attempts to do this. You have got no idea. This was ridiculous. I got it in the end, but that's that just sums that up. It was day 75 where I was cooking some food. Yep, that's about it. So how's it going? And then on day 76, I headed into the Nether to get some Wither Skulls. Okay, it's a little side story for you. It was on this day when I started the press record button that I also accidentally pressed the start streaming button. And so there was a good 5 or 10 minutes where I was accidentally streaming during this time and I had no idea. The only way I found out was because somebody donated or something to my Twitch channel, which again, twitch.tv/Haven. And if you want to go ahead and give that a follow, I'm not going to complain if you do. And well, here's my little reaction for when that happened.
Merry Christmas.
Oh. Hey guys, it turns out that I'm currently live on Twitch. This was all intentional. This was all part of my master plan. You see, thank you for the follow, whoever that was. Austin said to me that in his world, he wanted to try and take 3 withers on at the same time, and so I wasn't going to question that. And so on 76, once I sorted out the streaming shabockle, we shall call it, I decided to try and kill a bunch of Wither Skulls. And though I did my best to slice and dice them all, by 80, I just got the 8th skull before the end, and unfortunately, that's the last time I will jump into Austin's world. I wish him the best of luck in his Wither fight. That being said, it's time for another world swap. We are back into the Superflat world on day 81. I'm about disappointed as you are, where having a look around, I just couldn't think of anything extra I wanted to do. I didn't want to fight any withers because I wanted to leave that to Marvin. It's his world at the end of the day. And so I decided to just, well, build. I have built houses, I built stables, and so I made the decision, you know what I'm gonna build? I'm gonna build a statue. This world is missing something that, well, you're not going to find anywhere on a super flat world. So I started by shearing some sheep. I grabbed some quartz from the Nether. I loaded up a YouTube tutorial on how to do it. I made it as close as possible because there's no way for me to get like sandstone or like black wool. I just couldn't find anywhere to do that. And well, by the end of it, aka day 87, I had created the giant wool wolf, aka the statue of the pack. No, go on the statue of the pack. I even left a sign for them. And then honestly, for the rest of the days, I just sort of waited them out. Legitimately, had nothing to do. Superflat is not fun. I don't know why people think that it's fun, just not. Back into my world on day 91, it appeared Marvin had started doing some netherite mining where, okay, so I had to do a little bit of the cheats here. So basically what happened when I joined the world for the first time, in my opinion, one of the 2 of the other guys named all of their items and tools something quite inappropriate, and so I had to basically spawn in an anvil to change their names. I'm not going to pretend I didn't do that. So the anvil came from me going into creative. Let's be honest, that's something I did. Not going to pretend otherwise. I changed all the names to youtube.com/Havenand. But you know, just in case you're wondering why I have a bunch more levels from potentially where Marvin left off, it's because, simply put, they named it something inappropriate, so I fixed it. Now that I got that out of the way, I headed back home because I really needed to fix the pickaxe. Basically, what I wanted to do was to get a mending book. And luckily, we had all of the emeralds and books that we needed to do that. I headed back to the Nether on day 92 after applying mending to this pickaxe, and then started mining away for netherite with the occasional quartz mine just to add some extra durability to the diamond pickaxe. Honestly, as long as I kept doing that, it was never ever going to break. And it was day 95 where I finished the netherite mining. I got enough for 6 pieces of netherite, as I usually do, and headed back home. There was really only 1 or 2 more things I needed to do, and then I'd be done. First thing I did was head straight back to the Nether. Okay, I forgot to get some soul sand. We'll just forget that happened. And then I made some potions because it was time for a wither fight. Now, unfortunately, this entire time, we never got melons in this world. Now, I know I got melon seeds, but what happened to those melon seeds? I could not tell you. One of the guys took it and ran for the hills with it. We also never got any gas tiers, and so I'm just going to have to settle with some strength and speed potions. I wasn't a complete fool though. I decided to make some golden apples just for some extra security. And after organizing, popping on the elytra that we had already got, I headed out into the world for me to do the wither fight. I found a nice little stony plains area for me to do this fight, and nevertheless, the wither fight happened on day 99. Honestly, the only real struggle I had was the fact that it kept putting me into this gravel patch. Basically, where I spawned, there was a gravel patch next to it that almost kept me trapped down there. Luckily, I was able to get away with it. And I took down the wither with little to no issues. Wasn't the best wither fight I've ever done, but it was a 1 versus 1. I'm confident enough I know I'm going to be able to take him out. And with me grabbing the last bit of obsidian, the last bit of glass, I put down the beacon on the beacon that was already placed by the other lads. And I had survived to day 100, watching the sunset. And that's how we survived 100 days in 3 worlds at the same time. Thanks for watching.